ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going out to International Fight Week, ladies and gentlemen. International Fight Week, UFC 329, ladies and gentlemen. And Simon Feck was going to fly out there, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Feck was going to fly out there. But Simon Feck decided not to fly out to UFC International Fight Week, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a slight change in plans, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Feck's not going to be flying out to UFC 329, ladies and gentlemen, for the UFC X, the Hall of Fame, ladies and gentlemen, some parties, everything like that. I purchased an airline ticket, ladies and gentlemen, instead of flying out there, ladies and gentlemen. So Simon Feck's going to get there, via airplane, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We need to get out there. We need to get everybody together. We're going to have Simon Feck t-shirts, ladies and gentlemen. Because Moss from the MMA Holes, ladies and gentlemen. Moss from the MMA Holes. Looks like somebody's typing in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get to you here in a second. I see Mr. Feck, ladies and gentlemen. We got Moss from the MMA Holes making t-shirts, ladies and gentlemen. And he's going to have his staff there, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We need to get more people there with t-shirts, Simon Feck t-shirts, ladies and gentlemen. We need to beat Moss with the Warrior haircut, ladies and gentlemen. You know, like Michael Jackson's Bad video, right? You have Moss and the Gummy Gang. Moss and the Gummy Gang. And then in walks Simon Feck and his crowd, ladies and gentlemen. And then we have a dance-off, ladies and gentlemen, right in the middle of UFC X, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We got Charles Smith in here, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Charles Smith. Charles Smith says, "What's up, yo?" Hey. And then who do we got here? Mr. Feck, can you give the fans a book, music, or film recommendations? Thank you. Simon Feck doesn't read many books, but when he reads books, basically, it's always about a musical band, So, and then movies. I don't. You're gonna have to let me think on that, ladies and gentlemen. Have you seen Pulp Fiction? Scarface? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I have to think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Later on, we got to talk about Laura Sanko, ladies and gentlemen. Laura Sanko. Laura Sanko wears that tie, right? She thinks she's one of the guys. If you can't hang Laura Sanko, if you can't hang and Bryce Mitchell, both the same. We're going to talk about Laura Sanko and Bryce Mitchell a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen. Are those voodoo dolls? Yeah, basically. Yeah. I mean, everybody asks me, Simon Feck, why do you have the dolls there? I'm finally gonna have to do a video on that one. There is a reason. Okay, let's not get into that right now. I sort of want to talk about Laura Stanko and the UFC. Because I heard, listen, over there on the Gummy Gang, they were saying, hey, we hope Simon Feck is going to UFC X International Fight Week. Well, Simon Feck is going. I was going to fly out there. Now I bought an airline ticket, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So Definitely got to clear that up. Simon Feck's definitely coming out there. Simon Feck's going to hook. Simon Feck's going to hook a few good friends up, ladies and gentlemen, with some very important people out there, ladies and gentlemen. Been talking to them. We got Jay Beers, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Beers, ladies and gentlemen. He's like one of the top 5. He's the number 1. Well, number 2, you got Smokey, ladies and gentlemen. Smokey calls me, Sir Simon Feck. So, well, we got Jay Beers here. Jay Beers, one of the greats, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Laura Sanko's hot, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Woo! I didn't check the light. I had to move some stuff around here, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know if the light was going to hit the camera. You know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Basically, here's another thing, too, right? Been going through months and months of construction, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost over. It's going to be over in about 3 or 4 days. And the very last thing, we're going to have to move this set, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, we got Jay Beers. Laura Sanko's hot, that's for sure, ladies and gentlemen. I pleasured myself to Laura Sanko many times, says Charles Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Charles Smith, check this out. He's talking about pleasuring himself to Laura Sanko, ladies and gentlemen. He has a nickname. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, Woo. What do we got here? Jay Beer says, we'll see you in Vegas. All right. I can't wait. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna see Jay Beers out there, ladies and gentlemen. Smokey can't make the trip from Australia, huh? We got Jimmy the Drunk, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Feck, back in business. That's right. We got to hit a light on that one, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Actually, to tell you the truth, this is the very first time Simon Feck has done, like, say, a stream that sort of doesn't have a purpose where you just get here and you talk to people. I don't have stuff pre-written out. I just wanted to tell everybody I am going to International Fight Week. Now, let me tell you something. Jimmy the Drunk can't go to International Fight Week, and I'll tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. I learned a lot, ladies and gentlemen, but I learned it before the other night, Jimmy. Jimmy can't do anything for 5 months, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Jimmy's going to be in a coma for 5 months, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy the Drunk is going to be in a coma for 5 months, ladies and gentlemen. He's leaving everybody on a cliffhanger. I can't do anything. I can't do anything for 5 months, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know why that is, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we skipped one there, ladies and gentlemen. We got some 3 green things, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy the Drunk. First IFW I miss in 5 years. Because Jimmy the Drunk can't do anything for 5 months, ladies and gentlemen. Why can't Jimmy the Drunk do anything for 5 months? It doesn't make a bit of sense, ladies and gentlemen. He's so secretive. He's not secretive on his drinking, though, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look, his last name is Drunk, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my God, ladies and gentlemen. Clown doesn't get to the end of the comments, ladies and gentlemen, to like 4 or 5 hours in, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes it's 18 hours or so. This is so easy. The Clown Show. Listen to this. The Clown Show. He's so old, ladies and gentlemen. The Clown Show. He has to take a rest from talking, ladies and gentlemen. He's got to take a month off, a rest from talking, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's right. So, anyways, we're gonna take on Moss. You know, Moss with the Warrior haircut, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take on Moss out there at International Fight Week at UFC X on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. That's July 10th, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Feck and his gang are going to be taking on Moss and his gang right in the middle of the UFC X floor, ladies and gentlemen, like the Michael Jackson Bad video. Moss will be there kicking his legs around like Michael Jackson and shit, right? Simon Feck will be combing his hair back, like the 1950s and shit, and his big bad gang. I don't know, what is it? Romeo and Juliet, whatever it is in New York City shit or whatever, But I just had to tell people I'm watching the Gummy Gang, and they're like, well, we hope Feck's gonna be there. I thought. Behind the scenes, who would think what's going on behind the scenes? Nobody would say anything like that. It doesn't make a bit of sense. That's for people who know, okay? We got Jay Beers going laugh out loud, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever happened to Moss's Warrior haircut, ladies and gentlemen? Moss needs to show up at the UFC X with the Warrior haircut, ladies and gentlemen. Moss is failing on me, ladies and gentlemen. I have prior commitments. Ladies and gentlemen, check this out, right? If you think your life isn't bad enough, ladies and gentlemen, if you think your life isn't bad enough, okay, you're just sitting around watching shit on fucking YouTube, right? And you got nothing to do, nothing better to do, right? There's a guy named Jimmy the Drunk, ladies and gentlemen, that actually has something to do for 5 months, ladies and gentlemen. How can somebody have something to do for 5 months? I mean, is it like you're going to be on a boat and you're taking a sail around the world? That's doing something for 5 months. When you go to prison, that's doing something for 5 months. Well, it would be over a year, but you know what I mean. Okay? If you're on a movie set, that's doing something for 5. What is Jimmy the Drunk doing for 5 months besides drinking? Huh? I think it's a bunch of bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. I think he ran through his yearly money in like 7 months, and he's got to wait 5 months till he gets his big lump of money every year, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm thinking it is. A good old-fashioned brew. Ha-ha. Huh? Check it out. Simon Feck can read, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. All right, so here it is, right? Okay. So Simon Feck going out to UFC International Fight Week. Okay. And there is, well, besides a few things that you already see, right? Like media days on Wednesday, and then out the face-offs and stuff like that. They also have Power Slap, and then there's going to be the Hall of Fame thing, and then there's the MMA awards. Simon Feck will be going to the MMA awards and the Power Slap, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And on Friday, Simon Feck will be at UFC X. And on Thursday, Simon Feck will be at UFC X. Behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll be out on the floor on Friday, ladies and gentlemen. UFC X. That's right. And then Saturday night, the night of the fight, we, I'm not going to tell you who we is, ladies and gentlemen. We are working on the a group area. Saturday night during the fights, we are working on a group area, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I want to say about that. Okay. And Simon Feck, right? Simon Feck. I go out to the Vegas all the time, right? It's not business per se this time, right? So I don't get to stay at the same place. So I got a flight out there. I got a car out there, and I'm looking into. I got 15 people that I could stay with out there, right? I need somebody. I need somebody to roll around with. And when I mean roll around, I mean roll around. We're going to be going to some fighters' houses. Okay. Been working on this for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I've been cage side. Then I've been at the stupid media thing way up in the air. I've been at the media tent outside. I don't know if you know it, but there in Vegas, they put the media outside in a fucking tent, ladies and gentlemen. Outside, as big as that fucking building is, right? You put the fucking media outside in a fucking tent, and helicopters go by and make all kinds of fucking noise during interviews. Because all these famous people need to they take a fucking limousine around the fucking corner, and then they get on a fucking, helicopter and get the fuck out of there. And we're doing interviews and shit, and you got a fucking helicopter going on. As big as the fucking T-Mobile is, you got to put the media outside. Well, me and a big star are working on something, ladies and gentlemen. What do we got next here? We got Douglas Memo, ladies and gentlemen. Juliana said he might go to the meetup. And also, Vegas is home of a certified stepper, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is the fight game community, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody should know what a stepper is, ladies and gentlemen. It could be a standard head standard, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Hopefully I'll be rolling around with Douglas Memo, ladies and gentlemen. Who would want to roll around with a stepper, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, did I just say that he's a stepper? Ladies and gentlemen, what do we got here? Jay Beers. Vegas going to be off the hook. You got that right, Jay Beers. You got that right. It's going to be bigger and badder than you think. As bad as you think it is, it's going to be badder than that. I'll tell you that. Simon Feck will make sure of that. Go. How much a ticket for Power Slap? Okay, so I've been to probably 10, definitely 8 Power Slaps. I never paid for them. I was like, part of the media. So I don't know how much they cost. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe because this one's not business, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have to pay for it. I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you this, Jay Bears. I don't care how many power slaps you've seen on TV, how many shorts you've seen of all the great stuff that power slap has given us, right? All the great knockouts or whatever. Okay. In person, I'm gonna tell you this right now, and anybody out there. It is a scary feeling. It's like you're getting ready to see a car wreck. But I don't, you know what I mean. It's a scary feeling. It's a strange feeling. Power Slap Live is worth going to see. I'm telling you that. I'm just telling you that. I don't know, Jay Bears. Here's another thing, Jay Bears. There's a thing called Google, right? Why don't you find out? Let me know. I don't know. I've never had to find out. Oh my God. I'll be at International Fight Week. How easy is it to find escorts in Vegas? It's probably pretty easy, ladies and gentlemen. It would be my first time in Vegas. Very good. You know, it's got to be real easy. I mean, it's got to be as simple as you know. I mean, if you go up and down in your elevator enough, you'll get one that's going to want to walk up in your room with you. You got. Sometimes you got to like shut them off. Whoop, we missed one, did we? I guess we didn't. There's truck driving up and down the strip that advertise escort services. They're only a phone call away. Well, that's true. And basically, inside your hotel room, like right on the nightstand, right there, there's like a little, I don't know, I don't know what to call those things that are on, like like on at a restaurant on your table. But, yeah. What's Jay Beers got to say? Yeah, Jay Beers. If, I'm not saying if somebody else wants to go, but I'm saying yeah, Jay Beers. I mean, we should go to Power Slack. Me and Doug should go to Power Slack. We should all go to Power Slack. I'm telling you, man. It's a feeling. It's a feeling. It's almost like you know, but I've never witnessed one, right? But it's like you're getting ready to see a hanging. Like I don't know, a firing squad or something. Somebody's getting knocked out here in a minute. It's crazy, man. I like the power slap. Here's another thing too, right? So the power slap, uh, as media, you're not supposed to, video it. They pay more attention to, and you think the media would be the people that you would trust and have it, but they pay more attention to the media of not videoing than the rest of the freaking crowd, right? So I'm there like sneaking some videos and stuff so I can put on, uh, the YouTube channel. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So in watching the videos that I just watched, and they're my videos, so you think I would like them, right? It's not as exciting. I don't want to keep going on the power slap thing, right? We already got Jay Beers going and whoever else wants to go. I'm just telling you, when you're out there and you think that fucking power slap sucks balls, it doesn't suck balls live. Trust me. Escorts are everywhere. Flyers all over the place. Yeah. And you get leaflets too, right? And shit like that. But nowadays, I mean, they don't have to hustle that bad. Basically, online, it's got to be out there everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen. I got a bird in my nest. You know what I'm saying? So, and probably that bird's probably listening right now to see how well I know about escorts in Vegas since I go there all the time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. I don't hear anything, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. Yeah, and the bird really loves me dressing up like a fucking bird too, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even want to talk about that fucking bullshit. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, there's going to be a lot more to it. Okay, so I already told. Let's go backwards, right? So Saturday night during the fight, right? I have access to go into the fights, but we're gonna. I can't really tell you this part too well. We're working on a area where we all gather, right? And then the Friday before is UFC X. I don't know exactly what Power Slap is. The MMA awards, that's what you want to go to. It's usually, man, I forget the hotel, but it's called the MMA awards or something. You got, it's like 50% of the people. I get sometimes backstage to the MMA awards, right? But about 50% of the people there are famous. So when you go there, you're hanging out with famous people. The MMA awards, okay? So you should go to that. I don't think it has anything. I think it's something separate. I don't think it has anything to do with the UFC. But I definitely go to that. But there's other things that I'm doing too. I'm going to about 2 or 3 different gyms. I'm going to a couple fighters' homes. Okay. And I want to do one stream in the middle of the street too, ladies and gentlemen. I think Wednesday night when I get there. I might have to get there Tuesday night if I need to be in the Apex Wednesday morning. Still, I don't know anything about that yet, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Okay, so that looks like about it with the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, we still got Jackson McVeigh up here, ladies and gentlemen. Jackson McVeigh and Dumas right here, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Sewer King. Okay. And right, let me turn it around. And Conor McGregor down there, ladies and gentlemen. There's Conor McGregor right there, Sewer King. Of course, you got Moss from the MMA holes here, right here, ladies and gentlemen. Up front, you got Michael Strahan right there, and this big guy right here. This is Big Ben Rothwell now with the BKFC, ladies and gentlemen. Over here, you got Daniel White, ladies and gentlemen, and right here, DC, Daniel Cormier, and right here, this guy in yellow. This guy in yellow, his name is Dennis Securitoff from Submission Radio. If Dennis was to show up, I would submit Dennis from Submission Radio, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so one reason, this isn't the reason. The one reason I just did all that, now I could tag people, right? I could tag people in the video. I could tag all these people, and it's legal for YouTube, right? You're really not supposed to be tagging people. That's the rules. You're not supposed to be tagging people that aren't mentioned or seen in the video. So I just mentioned all these people. They're right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Thanks for hanging out with Simon Feck 1 Foot Cock, ladies and gentlemen. International Fight Week. Get your planes, tickets, whatever, airfare set up, ladies and gentlemen. Don't really need a rental car, but I got a rental car this time. Most of the time I do it without a rental car. But I need a rental car this time because I'm doing a lot of running around, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. International Fight Week. Let's go, says Jay Beers, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, International Fight Week. Simon Feck, let's fucking go, ladies and gentlemen, says Jay Beers. That's right. Oh, yeah, one more thing, ladies and gentlemen. Check this out. Come in tight. Come in real tight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you this. Now, this is probably the most important thing. This is probably the most important thing for International Fight Week. When you come out, okay, there's a few other ones, and they haven't announced it yet. I know Moss from the MMA Holes announced it, right? And Simon Feck obviously has announced it, right? And I believe, um, okay, one more. I can't think of it, but there's about 6 different groups of MMA YouTubers going out there. But let me tell you that this is the most important thing. Whoever you follow, probably follow several of them, right? But whoever your main guy is, and you're following a girl or whatever like that, when you go out to International Fight Week for this meet and greet, ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck's doing a meet and greet. And Simon Feck has 416 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, ladies and gentlemen. All right. When you go out to International Fight Week, listen to this, because I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you inside right here. Okay. When you go out to International Fight Week, listen to me right now. When you go out to International Fight Week, I want you to